Hello beautiful people and welcome back to Nursing Basics. If you missed me and have been wondering where I am, you should probably worry about other things with your life. As promised, in this video you're going to learn about normal sinus rhythm, sinus tachycardia, and sinus bradycardia. Additionally, you will learn how to interpret the heart rate based off a 6-second ECG strip. Let's do this! We're gonna get started off with normal sinus rhythm. So what is it? A good electrical conduction system! I think the easiest way to describe normal sinus rhythm would be in the following. The electrical impulse is beginning in the SA node and making its way through the heart in a normal manner. Essentially, normal sinus rhythm can be boiled down to the following. Normal, this is referring to the heart rate. As we learned in previous videos, a normal heart rate is anywhere from 60 to 100 beats per minute. Sinus, this just means that there's a P wave before every QRS complex, a QRS complex, and a T wave. There's a little bit more detail to that, but we'll get into it. Rhythm refers to the regularity of the R to R from QRS complex to QRS complex. So essentially, if the R in one QRS complex is the same distance to the other one and following through the ECG, then it's a regular rhythm. Alright peeps, so we're gonna dig into a little bit more detail with normal sinus rhythm. So, as we said earlier, there is a P wave before each QRS complex and a T wave. That makes it normal sinus rhythm.
However,
just because there's a P wave right here does not make it normal sinus rhythm. If you remember from previous videos, we learned that the time it takes from the SA node to travel to the AV node represents this PR interval right here. And a normal PR interval is anywhere from 0.12 to 0.20 seconds.
So,
if your PR interval is greater or less than this time threshold, then it does not make it normal sinus rhythm. In fact, that can actually be indicative of other heart problems that need to be addressed, and we will not talk about those in this video. Also, the normal time for QRS complex, just to refresh your memory, is anywhere from 0.05 seconds to 0.12 seconds. So yeah, that's basic normal sinus rhythm. Obviously there's a little bit more detail, but this is on the basics of it. Alright peeps, so next we're going to talk about sinus bradycardia. And in order to help us out, I brought my little friend Brady. He's a sloth because sloths are really slow. If you notice, it's not normal sinus bradycardia. And that's because normal is anywhere from 60 to 100 beats per minute. So from what I learned, bradycardia is anything less than 60 beats per minute. Now, just because it's less than 60 beats per minute, it does not mean that something is wrong. For example, somebody who runs and does a lot of exercise, has a lot of good cardiac activity, is probably going to have a lower resting heart rate. It is not uncommon for people that run marathons and do tons of exercise to have resting heart rates in the 40s and 50s, some of them even in the 30s. This is why it is important for you to use the nursing process and assess the situation before you freak out, call a code, and start running for the atropine. So if you notice, it's called sinus bradycardia, and that's because there is a P wave, there is a QRS complex, and there is a T wave. And all of those bad boys are in the correct order and in the correct timing. Also, the R to R is regular. We're gonna put Brady aside right now because we're gonna talk about sinus tachycardia. Unfortunately, I don't have another stuffed animal like a rabbit to represent sinus tachy, but so tachycardia, this means fast. Tachycardia is anything greater than 100 beats per minute. Again, it's important to use your judgment here. If somebody just did a ton of exercise, like just got back from jogging or running or doing some heavy weight lifting, their heart rate is probably going to be elevated, and it might even be greater than 100. Who knows? It might not be. The point is, it's important to assess. Again, if you notice, it's sinus tachycardia. So it does have a P wave, it does have a QRS complex, and it does have a T wave, all in the correct order and in the correct timing, and a regular R to R interval. The only difference is that it's going faster than 100 beats per minute. So now we're going to move on to how to determine a heart rate in a 6-second ECG or EKG, whatever you want to call it, strip. So in order to do that, we're going to use some pictures. I've always wanted to do this. Ready? We're going to snap and I'm going to disappear. Boom, here's the picture. So the easiest way to do this is by counting the number of QRS complexes on this strip and multiplying it by 10. Why 10? Well, there are 60 seconds in 1 minute. So if we multiply the number of QRS complexes in this 6-second strip by 10, it will give us the beats per minute. So let's do that real quick. Pause the video right here so you can do the math before I give you the answer. I count a total number of 8 QRS complexes. Now I'm going to multiply that by 10 and I'm going to get a heart rate of 80 beats per minute. Would you look at that? This is normal sinus rhythm. So here's another one. Count the QRS complexes and multiply it by 10. There are 4 QRS complexes, multiply that by 10, that gives us a heart rate of 40 beats per minute, and this is sinus bradycardia. Finally, here's the last one, and I'm sure by process of elimination you could figure it out. But anyways, pause the video, count the QRS complexes, and multiply it by 10. I counted 13 QRS complexes. So if you multiply that by 10, you get 130 beats per minute, making this one sinus tachycardia. All 3 of these are sinus because they all had a P wave, a QRS complex, and a T wave, all in the correct order, and they were all in the correct timing. The only difference for sinus bradycardia is that it did not have a heart rate that was normal from 60 to 100 beats per minute, and same with sinus tachycardia. It did not have a normal heart rate. It was above 100. Well, there you go, peeps. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope it helped. Leave a comment down below if you need some clarification. I'm more than happy to respond. Seriously, leave a comment. Also, check out the Quizlet on this video. I will link that down in the description as well. Make sure you keep an eye out for my next video. It's going to be over sinus arrhythmia, sinus block, and sinus arrest. Don't forget the basics of life. Even Brady knows it. Be kind and do good, guys. Peace out. Bye.